foot down there. I'm not setting foot down.
Yeah, this is Alan Blumenfeld, who really brought a lot of heart to Glottis.
Yeah, totally.
He's just a real sweetheart.
Oh, yeah.
Don't panic. Don't panic. I'm not setting... Those dominoes are like one long fuse. I'm not setting foot down there. The slightest bump could start those dominoes tumbling. What a trooper. Looks like Domino left his calling card.
But how? I saw him torn to shreds.
He must have done this on his last trip through town.
Well, I think it's one of the real challenges for adventure games because so many things you make for an adventure game are single use. Like single use animation, single use scenes, single use textures. They're all like you do a first person shooter, you do, adventure game, like a platform or something like that. There's so many animations that get reused so many times throughout the whole game. And an adventure game, a huge amount of it is just custom throwaway, meant to be seen, once or twice, and occasionally, all the time, like walk cycles. But it's not like Mario. At the time they were doing Mario 64, and it's like Mario has a ridiculous number of animations, but it's a finite set, and it's like they can all be loaded at all times. In this game, you have to dynamically load all the animations as they're needed, and you have to make sure they're available before they're triggered, so you don't get these glitches, and while you wait for them. And a lot of them they're thrown away. They have to get, every single one has to be individually processed by a human to get them into the game and potentially rigged up. And that's one of the challenges of making adventure games, is that you have all these sort of custom things and you want to reuse them as much as possible. But in order to do that, you have to automate a lot of stuff, automate as much processing as you can. But you still have to have that ability to fix things. In film, we'll fix it in post. It's the same kind of thing. It's like we'll fix it in the engine, or we'll fix it in the tool, as opposed to we'll fix it in the source art.
And that's the like you can walk to any room you want, and like all the little one-off assets. I think that's a unique challenge technically to adventure games that a lot of other games, other genres don't really have to address. But we're constantly like loading in custom stuff and kicking custom stuff out, and on this game, memory is tight. You walk into this room and we need 16-bit flipbooks of doors opening and closing and one-off animations of you may go and play the piano, you may not go and play the piano, and there's all this technical kind of tomfoolery going on of trying to get the content that maybe that somebody
might be used,
might not be used. You might just be running through this room to some other room,
place, yeah.
And it's not like loading up a level in a first-person shooter where you're like, okay, I know what's going to be in front of the user at any one point in time, and we're going to use the same bad guy 50 times over. So I just need to get the stuff to run the bad guy in memory. This was this constant dance of like just-in-time loading and management of stuff, because you could walk into this room and spend 10 minutes in this room and explore every bit of content that this room could offer you, or you could just be running through on your way to somewhere else.
Back to this other puzzle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Manuel Calavera? Well, what happened to the Limbo?
Hate to tell you, Velasco, but she went down at the Pearl. But we found a new ship, the SS La Mancha, and managed to...
The La Mancha? My old rusty bucket. Where is she?
Oh, well, we traded her in Puerto Zapato for a team of sled dogs.
That does it. I'm out of this stinking mob town.
But...
Thanks for finding my baby, Manny. Puerto Zapato, here I come.
Mob town?
Tim, how come you know so much about neurosis and psychosis? It's really...
I don't know if this is
quite
all.
striking.
I don't know if any of this is legitimate psychological knowledge or just what I learned from movies.
Well, speaking as sort of a crazy guy myself, it rings true to me.
You'd think after 2 years he'd have the little SS Lumbago's lifeboats on at least. Maybe I'll just finish this for him.
Tim, how come you know...
It shone pale as bone as I stood there alone, and I thought to myself how the moon that night cast its light on my heart's true delight, and the reef where her body was strewn. Ah, not quite the same without old Velasco. Don't have that kind of equipment.
Tim, how come you know?
Ooh, it's spooky down here. Ooh, it's spooky down here.
Actually, I think it was funny when you came in and you were all excited about working on this game. Like, I really like adventure games. I want to do this kind of thing. I want drama in games. And I think about Telltale, and it's like, okay, yeah, that's pretty much in keeping. It was a long time ago. But I remember when you came in, it was like your game that you had worked on was like a helicopter game where you
Helicops.
Helicops. And it was like as far different from this as you could possibly imagine a game would be. And I would not have imagined that a person who worked on Helicops was actually interested in adventure games.
There weren't any games like this. All I wanted to do was play with little people and computers, and I had gotten to the point where I almost ended up working on a baseball game because that was the closest thing I could find to little people and computers. And that's when I saw this. I was just like, it doesn't matter. I have to work on this.
Not a good sign for Rubalcaba's organized labor movement. Hello, Terry?
I think I offended Tim once when I said, Tim, you should write. I think I offended Tim once when I said, Tim, you should write scripts for movies. This is such a great idea. And Tim said, I make video games. I want to make video games. Why are you telling me to do something different? And I felt bad.
You cried that time?
No, I only cry at night, late at night. But
Tim was often at the office at nighttime. I remember him.
Oh yes,
locking his office door and me trying to peek in between the curtains he laid over top of the glass, and he would be in there for days.
Wow.
Yep.
Yes.
When he finally got down to doing the dialogue stuff, I remember that it was always like a pressure valve that blew on him at one time or another, and he would just lock himself in and churn out this amazing dialogue.
No, I mean, I think Tim was a very intimidating person. To try and be funny around Tim was hard because he was so funny, and I never felt like I kind of rose to.
I relied on my funny Canadianness,
right,
and my looks. That was enough.
I think it was, yes, your biting wit.
I think I bested him one time with a facial expression that was not intentional.
What was the expression? Can you do it for the people on the commentary?
You'll see it in the game if you look hard enough.
Good Lord.
Amazing.
Oh, and I'm sorry, Garv, this is the set that you had to build
this
twice.
This is Garov's, right?
Yeah, this is the one.
This was the gift that kept
and it's
on
actually
giving.
Very beautiful, I might add.
Yes. Well, a second time is...
The second time.
But I'm sorry, you were saying that was a real building.
Yeah.
Where? Was that in Spain?
I think it's in Paris, I think.
Oh.
And I remember seeing a photo of it and being like, wait, Peter.
No, good artist borrow, great artist steal.
Blue Casket. Just doesn't have the zing of Calavera Cafe, you know? Blue Casket, Blue Casket. Blue Casket. If only I'd named my club that instead, but no. I had to use my own name like an idiot.
But it was great. I mean, Grimm is definitely still sort of the most satisfying project I think I've ever worked on. It was just a lot of fun, and you know. But it was great. I mean, Grimm is definitely still sort of the most satisfying project I think I've ever worked on. It was just a lot of fun, and you know, Cuban actors, American actors, Irish actors, a guy from Hungary, you know, just all over the place, just to bring that sort of diversity to it.
Calavera, what are you doing here? I heard you went pow in Zapato, Daddy.
Well, Hector LeMans tried and missed. Now it's my turn. I'm headed to El Maro to put him out of business.
Manny, that place has changed. You don't know what you're getting into. I'd better come with you. Just give me a minute to get ready.
Okay, but if you hear a loud explosion anytime soon, the trip's off. I just can't do it.
I remember some trickle-down drama from upstairs in the test pit towards the end where things didn't seem to be getting done as fast as whomever wanted them to be getting done, you know. And I just remember, like, there was some question as to whether or not we'd have to cut a bunch of scenes or even a whole year from the game, you know, or something, because stuff wasn't coming in. That was terrifying. Yeah.
They still haven't done these? I'm not gonna eat off of dirty plates, and I'm not going to clean them. Ooh, food waste. As soon as I think of a use for stinky food waste, I'll give it a shot. As soon as I...
But it was great. I mean, Grimm is definitely still...
One of these days, I'm going in there.
Is it time to go yet?
No. We're having a little car trouble.
Come by when it's time.
Due to the new curfew, elevator operation ceases at sunset. Curfew? Who's in charge of this place now? Poor guy, so nervous. Don't panic.
What's that?
Ship in a bottle.
Nice.
You'd think after 2 years he'd have the little SS Lumbago's lifeboats on at least. Don't panic. What a trooper. You really should...
I'm with you guys till the...
I don't really want to do that. I'm not sitting... I don't really want... I don't... I'm not sitting... Don't panic. That's the folding bridge that can... Or at least it used to. Maintenance has gotten pretty lax around here, apparently.
To some extent, Grim Fandango is a bit of a mutt. It's got pieces of Jedi Knight, it's got pieces of Scum, it's got pieces of Outlaws. It's got pieces of, it's got iMuse coming in, and it's got the Lua language. So it was a game kind of made on a shoot, for all the technical challenges in it, a lot of pieces were sort of pre-existing, and kind of it was a matter of maybe a new era of game development where you don't write everything from scratch, but you kind of put it together in the best possible way.
Well, and one of the kind of the side effects of that was, since we had pretty robust solutions to video playback and rendering and art pipes in front of us, it really, a lot of the effort, aside from just making everything, all the blocking and tackling working, was spent in on how to making games like this convenient and producible and artist friendly. And you had built some tools that were really unlike the things that appeared in RenderDroid or Smush or some of the technologies it was built on. So it's a bit of a mutt in that we borrowed a bunch of really great technology, but there's also a lot of really innovative stuff.
I have to say, coming out of school, I felt super, super lucky to, first of all, be hired by LucasArts by some colleagues of mine who went to the same school, and to walk into this building and see all the concept art for this game on the walls. I was like a kid in the candy store. It was instant, euphoric inspiration, and I just felt like the luckiest guy in the world coming out of school, getting to work on a project of this caliber. It was beautiful.
I think these are binders of tattoo designs. I don't want to wake up Toto. I wonder if the Nez has cooled off yet. Hello, operator? Yeah, it's me, Manny. I was just passing through town and... Wow. Hold still. Still mad. Never get me under that. I don't want to wake up Toto. It's a little cabinet.
Your mother will love it.
Never get me under that thing.
I have to say...
Your mother will love it.
Liquid nitrogen, not to be used on bone.
You asked for Bunny.
Oh, Toto's plumb tuckered out. No, I don't want to disturb his grumpy little dreams.
Hold
That's
still.
one old fridge. I don't want to wake up Toto.
I kill you.
I'm not setting foot down there. The slightest bump could start those dominoes tumbling. It would just evaporate. It would just evaporate. There can't be too much. I'd better save it. There can't be too much in here. I'd better save it. There can't be too much. I'd better save it.
Is it time to go?
No.
Come by when...
That's what the lumbago diorama needed. Fake ocean water. That's what the lumbago diorama needed. fake ocean water. There can't be too much. I'd better save it. There can't be too much. I'd better save it. As soon as I think of a use for... I'd drink it, but I'd probably...
What's that?
It's, lumbago lemonade. Try it.
Perkly little aperitif, actually. Yes, sirree. Not bad, tall. Tell me where you got that right now!
Olivia's kitchen.
Lumbago lemonade!
Manny, aren't we in a hurry?
Don't worry. This won't take long.
Oh, my stomach don't stretch like it used to.
Oh, Glottis.
He looks like he's about to... So what is that stuff they pack canned hams in anyway? Good show, my friend.
You wouldn't happen to have a breath mint on you, I suppose?
Someone told me like this was the moment they cried in the game, just hearing how scared Glottis was in the scene, because he gets really frightened. And it's actually a reference to a claim that a babysitter made about me when they were babysitting me. They said, "Oh, you were so scared when your parents." You would sit there and you'd say, "Mother, mother, I'm frightened." And I was like, "No, okay. First of all, I never said that. I never said mother."
Yeah, that's suspicious right there.
But it got to be this family joke. "Mother, I'm frightened, mother." And so that line actually got in the game.
Gelatin is still liquefied. It wouldn't stop the dominoes from falling. It's not gelling.
It can't. It got all nice and warm in my belly. Hey, good idea. I bet I could keep it down now that it's cold.
Just let me get across first, okay? A parade of bones trapped in a suspended state. Kind of a metaphor for all of us, really, if you think...
Just defuse the bomb, Manny!
I don't know if people agree with me. That was my idea of, what do they call something that makes you barf? Something you take, drink that makes you... No, not expectorant.
No, it's like...
Epicac.
Epicac. That's the
like
syrup.
A verbal epicac. Yeah. Manny talks about the stuff they pack canned hams in, because it's always grossed me out, that weird gelatin. So everyone would have a different thing that they'd bring up that would make them barf.
Right.
What's yours?
Yeah. Ipecac.
Oh, look at that.
It sounds like what you do when you eat it.
Ipecac.
Yeah.
I don't know how players are supposed to figure out this puzzle, that you have to fill the floor with regurgitated gelatin. It's not the first thing that jumps into people's minds. Where the hell did you get that?
I forgot there was I thought there was I forgot there was a regurgitated gelatin puzzle in the game. That's a standard thing, right?
Soon to be known as the blown wagon.
Hey, that's not funny!
I'd better disarm her first. Fiendish. Well, here goes nothing. Looks like Hector's taken over the whole town.
He hasn't had much resistance. There's only one small group who oppose him, and they live out on the fringes of the city.
Places like this, you mean?
I hope they're not hurting Glottis.
Ha. Shows what you know about this group. Their leader is a great man who...
Manuel Calavera, we meet again. I see you have found what you were looking for. How fortunate for you to arrive now, just as we too are about to achieve success. Our army has grown, and right now our top agents are in Hector's weapons lab, about to close in on the enemy in his own den. I couldn't have done it without you, Manuel.
It was a trap!
Stand back. There's only one thing to do.
Thank you, sir. You have saved me. But more than that, you have enabled me to continue to serve the movement.
What did you say about a trap?
Hector uncovered our agent in his weapons lab.
No.
You idiot, Bowsley. Your new lab assistant is a spy. Haven't you ever heard of a background check?
What? No time to explain. Now I'll have to take matters into my own hands.
Take me with you. I've longed to be of service to your cause for years.